Everybody, this is Dean Jacobs with day number 6, day 6 of the live Facebook broadcasting. I made a promise myself that I would do 30 days of live Facebook broadcasts to pump a little positive energy, to pump a little positive mindset into the situation where we find ourselves. Because I don't know if you're like me, but if I get caught in the negative narrative, it just eats away at my time, it eats away at my self-confidence, it eats away at my capacity to get things done. And the way that we manage that is to make sure that we're asking ourselves good, empowering questions. So that's what these live Facebook broadcasts are all about, is to bring in some good mindsets from empowering questions. Because, on the other side of that wall of fear, there's a whole world waiting to be explored. If we let that wall of fear stop us, we get trapped here in those little boxes. And are we supposed to live in these little boxes? No, we're supposed to stretch and blow these babies up by dreaming big, by living tall, so we can get on with making the world what? Better. Dreaming big. Just because we find ourselves in a challenging situation doesn't mean that we stop dreaming. Matter of fact, it's probably more important now than ever to be nurturing our dreams on the inside with our mind and our heart. And when we take time to do those things, it makes us feel better, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel better when you're thinking about your dreams? Because, we can't be always responsible for what's going on in the outside world, but we can always take the responsibility for what we think. And what we think directly impacts how we feel. And how we feel has a direct impact on the actions we take or we don't take. And then our actions impact our results, and then that whole loop thing, right? So if we're not feeling good, if we're feeling afraid, then we need to interrupt that. And one of the ways that we can interrupt that is just to change what we're thinking about. So there are various ways to do that. But one of the ways is to do that is to be asking ourselves empowering questions versus like, what am I going to do if it's the end of the world? And let's hope it's not the end of the world. And we're going to do everything possible to make sure it's not, right? Because we're in for the long haul, and we're not just going to get through this. We're actually going to use this as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become a better version of ourselves. And that's how we move through these things, determined that we're going to learn from this, determined we're going to grow from this, and determined that we're going to use this opportunity to become better. And right now, life is demanding of that us. So it's time for us to honor the struggle versus just going through the motions of life. Sound good? All right. So I always tell the metaphor, or share the metaphor, that I think it's so useful in this situation. A young boy comes up to his grandfather and says, "Hey, grandfather, I always feel like there's two wolves fighting on the inside of me." "Grandfather, which one of the wolves wins the fight?" The grandfather turns to his grandson. He goes, "My son, the wolf that wins is the one that you feed." So we want to make sure that we're feeding the good wolf. We're fighting the good fight that empowers us, that energizes us to stay engaged with this. Because our dreams are worth it, right? Our dreams are worth it. Our community's worth it. Our families are worth it. Our friends are worth it, right? And they need us stepping up. And the way that we do that is if we take responsibility for what we're going to put in our mind, because that impacts how we feel. All right, today's empowering question. Sealed in a mayonnaise jar since 9 o'clock this morning. I think that's funny. Nobody else thinks that's funny, but I think it's funny. It's going to be backwards because I still haven't figured out how to do this thing to move either way. But today's empowering question is, what kinds of feelings am I feeling right now? What kind of feelings am I feeling right now? And then the other one is, there's two questions in this, so you get 2 for 1 tonight. Must be 2 for 1 special. The other question is, what kinds of metaphors can I find to describe my feelings? All right, so here it is. What kind of feelings am I feeling right now, and what kind of metaphors can I use to describe my feelings? This is a double question, double empowering question for today. Well, what kind of feelings am I feeling right now? Well, I'm feeling a lot of gratitude. I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to hang out with you guys, that there is technology that allows me to connect with you live. So even though if I'm not there in person, hey, we still get the energy of the live connection. I think that's pretty cool. I'm grateful there's a roof over my head. I'm grateful there's food on the table. I'm grateful that my sweetheart son made it out of Italy. Martin made it out of Italy a week or so ago, and that he's home and safe in Ecuador with his mama Christina. I'm grateful that there's heat in my house even though it's cold outside. I'm grateful that I have friends and family to rally around, to support each other so we can move through this together. By the way, we're not just going to get through this. We're actually going to move through this, and as a result, we're actually going to become better. We're going to become better as a result of all this. Does that make sense? So we're not just going to move through it. We're going to become better. And in doing so, when we become better, that's going to give us more tools and more opportunities to make the world what? Better, right? So I'm not here just to get through this. I'm not here just to go through the motions of this. I'm using this as an opportunity to say, all right, how can I scale up? How can I become better? I'll start working on another book. I'm writing another book. I got something special coming in the near future about animals. So if you really like animals, there's something coming down the pike with animals. Who likes animals? I do anyway. And nature. So I'm grateful that I even have these. I'm grateful for my camera that I can take pictures with. I'm grateful for my brother's dog, my little buddy Rusty, that I can go for walks with her on the block when I take a break. I'm grateful that I got 2 legs. I'm grateful that I have eyes to see, that I can share and capture images that I can share with the world of beauty to remind us that life is an extraordinary thing, a gift. I just have a lot of gratitude. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I have my moments where I do feel like, oh my, OMG, like what's going on? The sky is falling. It's really easy, especially if you start reading too much news that just like sucks you in and leaves you trapped here, hopeless. And it's pretty hard to shine bright when we're trapped in a box of fear. We weren't brought here to live this way. We were brought here to live this way, to be expanding our awareness, to be engaged with the world. So how do we do that when we're feeling afraid? Well, one of the ways I do that is I put notes around to remind me what my commitments are. It's who I am, and who I choose to be is someone who's determined, committed, and passionate to inspire kids to have hopes and dreams. And that dreams are not for special people, they are for everyone. That's who I am. And how do I do that? I do that with my books, my blog posts, my school programs, and lesson plans and things like that. Those are exercises that use content, but embedded into all those are incredible reminders that life is a gift, that dreams are for special people, not for everyone, and that we should all be, that there's magic if you're willing to widen your perspective because it deepens your dreams. Whoa, right? And that's a universal truth no matter who you are or where you come from. I don't always know what your dreams are, what they look like, but everyone has the capacity to dream because they're a human being. They were born. It doesn't mean it's not always. It doesn't mean it's easy. And I'm not under. It's in no way to minimize the struggle that some of us have to go through in order to get move towards our dream. But it's always worth it. And the other alternative is just to hope for the best. And that's very disempowering. The way that we get that feeling of control is by taking responsibility for the thoughts that we think. And in doing so, we start to take action. Because this is how it works. Our feelings are directly connected to our thoughts. So our thoughts feed our feelings then impact our actions impact our results, and our results... I might have said that wrong. Sorry. So it starts with our beliefs then lead to our thoughts then go to our feelings lead to our actions. And then our actions lead to results. That's how it works. Right? So if there's something that's showing up in that circle that's not quite right, then it's up to me to disrupt that or interrupt that and change it. Because nobody can make me think anything, just like no one can make you think anything. So if I'm not feeling empowered or excited, that usually comes from I'm usually thinking something. So you have to be willing to be aware, to look and say, all right, what am I thinking that's giving me this feelings? So that way I can impact, I want to have a different result. You know what I mean? All right. So anyway, what I'm feeling right now is a lot of gratitude. I'm grateful just to be in here. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to connect with all of you. I'm grateful, even for the struggle, because you know why? It's forcing me to develop some skills, to skill up, to level up, to challenge myself to be the best version of Dean Jacobs right now. Because I know and I embrace the responsibility that I want to be a role model for young people. I want to be a living example that dreams are not for special people, they're for everyone. So when they look to me, I want them to know that I want them to not only know, I want them to feel that, oh, I got their back, I got them. Yeah, and I want to be that reminder to them that you can do this. I did this, you can do this, and we can all do this. And in doing so, we're going to make the world better. That's how we walk down the pathway of living a life of wonder. All right, and then as far as what kind of metaphor can I find to describe the feeling? Well, I just keep going back to, right at the moment, I can't think of a really great metaphor except for the one that I know from Forrest Gump, and life is just like a box of chocolates. You just never know what you're going to get. But our job is to enjoy that box of chocolates the best that we can, and do something good with it and enjoy the savory of it, even if it's in a difficult situation. Our job is to do something with it, something positive, and do something good, and to find a different part of ourselves to step up to do something to make the world better. And I know that each and one of you can do these things, because I've been traveling around the world. It's taught me a lot about people. Going through 58 countries, investing 8 years of my life has given me a wonderful perspective, and I know that you guys are capable of doing extraordinary things. I'm just taking a little live Facebook broadcast to remind you and reflect back to you that you guys will find your way through this too. Not only will we find our way through it, we will move through it and become better as a result of it. We just got to make sure we don't get trapped here. Okay? Makes sense? So thumbs up to all of you guys who are doing your best to constantly stretch and blow that box up so we can shine bright to do our part to make the world better, right? All right, thumbs up to each and one of you guys. Check in tomorrow, and we'll do another live Facebook broadcast. If you miss it, it's going to be saved on the Facebook, on my Facebook fan page here. And if you know someone who could actually benefit from hearing this versus the negative narrative in the news, forward this on to them. Forward on to them. Give them a little ray of sunshine and say, hey, tell them, let them know that you were thinking about them, and that this is something that gives you something to think about in a positive way, and maybe it may help them and support them too, of finding their way down the living a life of wonder. All right, so blessings to you guys wherever this finds you, and I love sharing these moments with you. There are more coming. Because I made a promise, and when Dean Jacobs makes a promise, he does everything possible to make sure he keeps it, honor my word to myself, and keep my promise to you guys. Okay, all right. Stay warm, stay safe, be the good, and we will see you the next time. Okay, bye, guys.